are Susie Sweets, and we are so glad to be here to celebrate Whitesboro's 30th reunion. We are so happy. Congratulations!
Happy 30th anniversary!
This is Michael Clark here at CCW down here in Whitesboro at the Martin Luther King Center. I want to wish them a happy 30th anniversary. What a great day.
Happy 30th anniversary from Buddy Rose Barbecue.
Congratulations for your 30th anniversary.
We just want to say thank you for everything you've done for us and the community.
This is AVJ Catering. We're cooking up some good food. Happy 30th anniversary.
I want to thank everyone for being here today. I want to congratulate you on your 30th anniversary.
I am excited to share with you some new police practices that we are putting in place in Middle Township.
We didn't have a community center, $1.4 billion in this community center. We didn't have that 30 years ago.
That piece actually changed my life. It changed the way I see people in the world.
Over the past 30 years, you have accomplished so much to be proud of.
Congratulations to Whitesboro on their 30th anniversary. Today we celebrate our third year of Ball Academy with the tournament and showcase games where we showcase some of the best talent we have in the South Jersey area, from areas going to school from Wildwood, Middle, Wildwood Catholic, Lower, St. Augie, Holy Spirit, little kids from everywhere. We've got grades going from 6th all the way to 12th grade, and thanks for being here.
Last night we started our reunion weekend with a Pearls of Wisdom appreciation dinner where we recognized a lot of the sponsors that have been supporting us for over close to 30 years, if not 30 years or longer, and other people in the community, and we had a full house of about 200 people, and it was our way of expressing our appreciation, and I'll extend that again today to everyone for the support that you provide to the concerned citizens of Whitesboro. We cannot do it without your support, so thank you very much. I'm not going to go long into a welcome because we're getting a little late with time, so I'm going to ask the Mayor of Middle Township, Michael Clark, to give his welcome remarks.
I'd like to welcome you here today. I'm so pleased to join you at this wonderful celebration of friends, family, and community. It's very inspiring to see faces young, old, residents of past and present, all all coming together to celebrate Whitesboro's rich history. I extend my sincere thanks to the concerned citizens of Whitesboro, not only for their hard work in organizing this event year after year, but also for everything they do to improve Middle Township every single day. We at the Township are excited to announce a few enhancements here in Whitesboro. This year, we were successful securing over $122,000 in the Cape May County Open Space funds to install a brand new tennis courts here at the Martin Luther King Center. We were successful in having the post office move the trailer while continuing to provide service here on site. I'm sure all of you can agree that it's made a vast improvement to the MLK Center on its appearance. Gibbs Street will be paved this fall. The bids go out on September 6th. So those are just a few things that we've done this year and we're continuing to do to improve things here in Whitesboro. I want to thank everyone for being here today. I want to congratulate you on your 30th anniversary, and I want everyone to enjoy this celebration. So thank you for being here today, and have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Clark. If you're looking at the program, you'll find that I'm just jumping around, moving it along. One of the things I want to do today is recognize a person in the audience, Lillian Inez Palmer, who was born in Whitesboro in June the 13th, 1918. So she's here today. She came back to Whitesboro. She's living in D.C., celebrating 110th birthday. I understand she still does a little yoga. It's unbelievable. A nephew has a cake that will be at the back booth that's free to help celebrate her birthday. They have a cake here. So, Mrs. Palmer, we're happy to have you here, as you have been for many years, and we wish you nothing but the best. Thank you. We'll now have some remarks by the Middle Township Chief of Police, Chris Schlusner.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you, President Blanks. Thank you, Executive Director Stedman Graham, and the members of the concerned citizens of Whitesboro. I am excited to share with you some new police practices that we are putting in place in Middle Township. These practices are a significant shift in thinking, and I hope will soon be modeled by other police departments. When I became chief 9 years ago, we built significantly on the philosophy of community problem-oriented policing. Community problem-oriented policing is not a program or policy, it's a philosophy. We focus on 3 areas here in Middle Township and have. One is enforcement, which is the traditional approach. But in my opinion, we need to be spending as much money, if not more, on intervention and education and prevention efforts. We put a trained drug counselor and social worker in our municipal court. We are connecting people with mental health services, substance abuse issues or treatment, homelessness and housing. We partnered with a local church down the street, Lighthouse Church, and their Christians United for Recovery, and if we come across someone that is suffering from addiction, a recovery coach will be at the police department within 45 minutes. We also focus on education and prevention, public safety announcements, drug and violence prevention, youth programs. The goal of community problem-oriented policing is to get at the root cause of what's driving people behavior with various partners in the community. While I am proud of our programs, my understanding of tackling the root cause of crime and disorder has changed dramatically within the last year. As a result, I became involved in of all fields, public health. Cape Regional Medical Center put together a coalition that applied for a grant from the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, administered through New Jersey Health Initiatives. We received a $200,000 grant for 4 years. We're in our 3rd year. and it was for a goal of building a culture of health in Cape May County. The hospital put together a group diverse from all different sectors. Vicki Clark, the Cape May County Chamber of Commerce from the business community, Chris Kobick, Superintendent of Schools in Lower Township representing education, myself representing law enforcement, Tom Perotsky, Vice President of the hospital representing the medical field, Greg Speed, the CEO of Cape Counseling, the largest provider of mental health services in the county, and our coach, Vicki Lockman. We were sent to training in Princeton through the Creative Leadership Center out of Charlotte, and we were told to have an open mind and think outside the box. We came back and started to ask ourselves, what is it the root cause of health issues, criminal activity, substance abuse, students in schools that are struggling, referrals in mental health to Cape Counseling, and the business community and difficulty in attracting and retaining employees. What we found out, it is children who are experiencing significant amounts of trauma, something called adverse childhood experiences. And I know Oprah did an amazing story on 60 Minutes with this earlier this year. The first ACE study was done between 1995 and 1997 with 17,000 participants in the middle-class region of California. There was a 10-question test. They ranged from a wide area of categories, from neglect to parents being incarcerated to whether your parents were divorced. A yes question to one of the questions equaled a 1 ACE score. What they found out is that adverse childhood experiences are common. Almost 2/3 of study participants had at least 1 ACE, and more than 1 in 5 reported 3 or more ACEs. The higher the ACE score, the higher the percentage for just about every category you can think of when it comes to poor health and social outcomes. I mean significantly higher for just about any category. Heart disease, domestic violence, alcoholism, suicide, being arrested. We started to do our homework on this issue in Cape May County, and we found out that Cape May County ranks 19th out of 21 counties in the Kids Count rankings for quality of life for youth. I believe it just changed to 21 recently within the last couple days. So the goal of our coalition is to reduce the impact of adverse childhood experiences here in Cape May County. The good news is, what is predictable is preventable. So what are we doing at the Middle Township Police Department? Well, just this past July, I ordered all training for police officers in Middle Township to receive training in ACEs. All officers viewed the film, The Biology of Stress and the Science of Hope, the documentary that was put together by the original authors of the first ACE study. This was followed by 1 hour of training on the effects of toxic stress on brain development. I have to change the officer's outlook from what is wrong with this kid when we come in contact with them to what happened to this kid. Next, I issued a standard operating procedure on trauma-informed and responsive policing. We respond to calls on a regular basis where children are exposed to dramatic events that range from domestic violence situation and active violence or drug overdoses. We are putting police practices in place to reduce the impact of those particular events. Next, we established a Handle with Care program, which is launching this school year. When officers respond to a call for service where a child has been exposed to a dramatic event, we provide a Handle with Care notice to the school before the following school day when the bell rings. The school will then take steps to help support that child during those following days with the goal of helping them develop resiliency skills. Next, we had started a police youth camp, our second year. We know from science that adverse childhood experiences affect brain development, but we also know that positive interactions and experience with adults also support positive brain development. This is the goal of our police youth camp, where this past July we hosted 60 kids from Middle Township free of charge. We had fun with these kids, but we also delivered an evidence-based curriculum on life skills. Also, we talked about setting goals and tried to expose them to different career fields so they could start to think about their futures. We are in the final stages of developing a police trading card program that police officers will pass out to the youth in our community to try to have interactions with our youth when there's not a problem, crisis, or an emergency. In my opinion, police departments across this country need to go upstream to tackle the root cause of crime and disorder, and we need to be focused like a laser beam on adverse childhood experiences. I thank the concerned citizens of Whitesboro for their partnership and the work they do in the community, and I look forward to working with not only the concerned citizens of Whitesboro, but an entire community, because it'll take an entire community to make a difference, and I firmly believe that we can do better for our youth here in Middle Township. Thank you.
That makes it fun, doesn't it? We're okay. I'm a little bad with the protocol, so we just do things backwards or as I think of them. And of course, when Oprah came in, it kind of changed everything. You guys went crazy. So we're going to, let me introduce the people up front here on my far left. Jeff DeVicco, Middle Township Committeeman. Jim Donahue, Middle Township Committeeman. You just met the chief, the mayor you met. On my far right, Dr. Barbara Gaba, President of the Atlantic Cape Community. And Stedman, you know, and obviously
Hi, everybody. I'm not on the program to speak. I was feeling so fantastic I don't have to speak. But I'm here to support Stedman, my life partner, my love, who loves this community so much and has been doing this for 30 years. And I love him because of his love of the community. But when I just heard the chief speak, I mean, my heart's on fire for everything that he said. I don't think y'all realize what he was saying. Did you realize it? Well, the chief needed an amen or something. I mean, first of all, he mentioned this piece that I did for 60 Minutes on childhood trauma. Whether you saw it or not, that piece actually changed my life. It changed the way I see people in the world, and it changed everything I was doing at my school. So you all know I started a school in South Africa over 10 years ago. And wonderful things have happened. Hundreds of girls have graduated. I'm still supporting hundreds of girls in college. But we kept running into the same problem. These girls, having come from challenged childhood experiences, trauma-filled lives, had lots of adverse childhood experiences. And we were teaching them wrong, because when you have somebody who has been through multiple trials, tribulations in their life, the question isn't what's wrong with them, which is what so many teachers do. They say, what's wrong with this child? This child can't behave. What's wrong with this child? The question is what Chief Lucian just said, what happened to you? So to have a police force, I mean, there would be no taking the knee, there would be no protests in America about police departments in America if all the police departments took on the idea of addressing what happened to you as a child. So I just want to applaud you for having the insight, the wisdom, and the vision to know that asking the question of what happened to you and treating these young children, particularly the boys who lost their way, treating them like they are human beings who had adverse circumstances happen to them and not that they're just born criminals. Applause, applause, applause to you for doing that.
good. And I might add that I'm very impressed with what the chief does with his department. Very impressed, very community oriented, and it's big. It means an awful lot to the community. When kids see the police department, they don't run, they talk to them. It shows that the police are concerned about the community and interacting. So I also have my hats off to you. Okay, where do we go from here? Okay. Do it as we go along. I don't know who else's birthday it is, but every year...
Right here. Right here. 70.
I'm starting it because it's my son's birthday, so I'm going to give him a happy birthday. And I'm always working a reunion, never get to spend with him, so that's why I acknowledge him. Happy birthday, son. And all he wanted for his birthday was a picture with both. You got it, okay, good. Okay, we'll do some honoring. There's many people and organizations that we could be honoring, but we have to narrow it down to only a few. And this year, there's a couple of organizations that I feel it's important that we, the concerned citizens of Whitesboro, feel is important to recognize. One being the Robert J. Stillwell Foundation. This is an organization that found us. Mrs. Stillwell, through, I'm not quite sure what the connection was, came to us about her foundation because she heard about our after-school homework program and our summer camp. And the Stillwell Foundation is dedicated to enhancing children's lives through community involvement. They are grateful for the support of the concerned citizens of Whitesboro Healthy Initiatives. And because of them and their financial support, we were able to improve our menu planning for our summer camp and after-school homework with healthy food, and our approaches to learning hands-on gardening with our community gardening project. We get the kids very involved in that. And if it wasn't for the Stillwell Foundation, we probably would not have been able to run the community garden and to change the diet. After we got the first foundation, we partnered with USOLI, which is, they have a booth over there, very heavily involved in healthy initiatives, and they developed the menu for our summer camp and after-school homework programs, and we're still following those menus today. So our thanks is to the Robert Stillwell Foundation. They've supported us each year with a grant for 4 years, I think, and hopefully they will continue to support us. And here in the audience is Robert Stillwell's daughter, Cindy. I'll say Cindy Stillwell. I'm sure she has a married name, Cindy Stillwell. And we have a plaque that we would like to present to you, Sydney. You gotta come to the ground. Each year we've gotten a grant of $15,000, and through that support is how we've been able to do that program. Robert J. Stillwell Foundation, Concerned Citizens of Whitesboro wishes to recognize this foundation for their financial support, which allowed us to implement nutritional education, menu planning, and programs, as well as support our community garden. Another organization that's extremely important and supportive of the concerned citizens of Whitesboro is Ocean Inc. Community Action Agency. Ocean Inc. Serves Ocean, Monmouth, Atlantic, and Cape May counties. Programs affordable housing, housing counseling, homelessness prevention, weatherization, home energy, and they have supported us for several years. We have a food pantry that we run 3 days a week down at the Whitesboro Grammar School, and because of their financial support is how we are able to have that program in existence. And they also support us with our after-school homework program and our cost of our food purchases. And in the audience is Mr. Chanel Wilkins, who is the President CEO of Ocean Inc. I asked him to come up. Chanel. It says to Chanel Wilkins, President and CEO of Ocean Inc., Concerned Citizens of Whitesboro, wishes to thank you and your organization for your continued and valuable support of our community food pantry and homework program.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to have my board, I do everything through a board and staff. They're here. I'd like my board members and staff to please stand. My wife to come out, not because it's her birthday, but she also wanted a picture with Oprah, so at some point she'll try and get that as well. But Ocean Inc. really works on partnerships. I've met with the chief. I'm very familiar with ACES. I used to run the Federal Head Start program, and so I understand very truly how that can be truly beneficial to what's going to happen. We've talked about things we can do. I met with the mayor. We talked about how Ocean can partner not just with Whitesboro, but this entire community to do things. I heard Elizabeth Snerick was here, who's the city manager. Oh, there you are. And so she's also been very helpful in Ocean coming down and beginning to work with the people of this community. And that's what we always do. We say good morning and how can we work together. So thank you, and I look forward to working with all of you.
I probably forgot to mention the most important thing with Ocean Inc. I mean, their support has been continuous over the years, but this past year, they got us a $100,000 grant, and we ran an educational program down at the Whitesboro School, a stealth program where kids were taught to fly drones. They were taught to learn some educational techniques on video games because we contracted with Dr. James Rosser, who is a physician, and he believes that similar skills apply to physicians doing the, I can't even think of the surgery, robotic surgery. Very similar to playing video games. He thinks that's why he was a good surgeon, because he liked video games. So you're learning while you're having fun. And we brought that program here. We ran it for 10 weeks with 4th and 5th graders, and it was very successful. Miss Pam Shute, I don't know if she's here, she was the lead teacher. Very successful program, and we're thankful to Ocean Inc. for their support to get that grant. Thank you. Unfortunately, each year we have to have our book. We end up having our book in memory of people who passed away. And we had several, 3 of our leaders, community leaders this year, who did pass away, unfortunately. And one, very important and close to us, was Miss Christina Hatcher, who was a long-standing board member with the Concerned Citizens of Whitesboro. Very dedicated to the community, to her family, and to her church. And we miss her dearly. She was a quiet person at the meetings, but after everybody else finished talking and discussing or arguing about something, then she would speak up and just calm things right down. She just had that way about her, and that will be missed. So there's a nice write-up about her in the book. I'm not going to read it all because it's a little too lengthy to read now since we got a late start, so buy the book. Her daughters, I believe, are here, Alicia and Tanya. I would present them with a plaque for their mother if they're here. Here they come, Alicia. Thank you for coming up. I know it's hard for you because Mom hasn't been going that long, but she still is missed. Christina Hatcher, in honor of her many years of devoted service as a long-standing board member of Concerned Citizens of Whitesboro and being a faithful and loving member of her family, community, and church. Reverend George Thompson, who was the pastor of the First Baptist Church of Whitesboro for many years. He began his being a pastor in 1945, or graduated in 1945 and started in 47. I don't recall offhand how long he was at the First Baptist Church in Whitesboro, but he was there for a very long time, very involved in the community, and sat on boards of some of the local organizations, because I sat on one with him as well. And he passed away this past year, and we wanted to leave our book in memory of him as well. I don't know if anybody's here for George Thompson, but if not, I will make sure that it goes to the First Baptist Church of Whitesboro. Thank you. Dr. Theodore Johnson, as many people in this audience knows and remembers if you went to Middle Township, he was the superintendent of Middle Township Schools from 1977 to 1989. He served that with notable distinction. Also very involved in the community, stayed involved in education even after he left Middle. I think right up until the time that his health started to deteriorate, he stayed involved, taking on jobs as interim superintendents in different locations around the various counties. He used to always attend this event every year, again until his health prevented him from doing so. So Dr. Johnson is the other person that we wish to leave our book in memory of this year and remember him. I don't know if anybody from his family's here, but if not, I will certainly make sure it gets to them. So thank you very much. Our keynote speaker, Dr. Barbara Gaba. I would say it right? She was appointed the 9th president of Atlantic Cape Community College in January 2017. Her vision is for the college to become the region's preferred choice for higher education and professional training, and to serve as a leading catalyst for economic and workforce development. She is working diligently with the college and its partners to anticipate and fulfill the region's educational needs and to strengthen the community's economy by collaborating with K-12, nonprofit, and higher education institutions. With extensive experience in higher education, she is deeply committed to the mission of the community college to provide educational pathways for student success. Recognizing the important role that education plays in transforming lives, she has embarked on an aggressive plan to strengthen student services and enhance program offerings that addresses the needs of residents in Cape May and Atlantic County. Prior to that, she served in several capacities in the educational field, Union County College, their Elizabeth campus, and she held several positions in higher education. Again, it's in the book. Nice write-up about Dr. Gaba, and I'd like to get a warm welcome and having her stand and give her keynote address. Dr. Barbara Gaba.
I was quite honored when I got the letter of invitation. It was then that I began to do some research and learned that there is a very rich and important history in this community, which quite frankly I was totally unaware of. So given that history, I am glad that my feet have actually landed here in Whitesboro. Reunions are a wonderful time to bring family and the community together, and surely much can happen from year to year. Over the past 30 years, you have accomplished so much to be proud of. Indeed, the overwhelming turnout for this event today is a testimony of how important this reunion is to the Whitesboro community. Some years ago, I lived in Turnersville in Gloucester County, and I told people I live in South Jersey, but I really live in South Jersey right now here in Cape May. I was thinking back 30 years ago, 1988, when this organization began. Back then, we used Lotus 123 for spreadsheet work. Remember that? Typewriters were still widely used. A gallon of gas was 91 cents, and a dozen eggs was 65 cents. Well, we can all agree that times have changed. Most telephone booths are gone, and technology has advanced so quickly that we can now literally hold a computer in our hand with our cell phone. I am so honored that you have asked me to deliver this keynote address on this joyous occasion today, celebrating the culture and the fabric of this wonderful community. First, I would like to acknowledge some very special people who are here with me today. We have with us our Cape May freeholder, Marie Hayes, who's our Cape May freeholder. Our Atlantic County freeholder, Ernest Corsi. From our Board of Trustees, Mr. Dan Money, who is a resident of Cape May County. We all know Mr. Money. And also Trustee Leslie White Corsi. I would also like to thank my Atlantic Cape team, and you see our booth right over there with all of our things showing our campus. They're here with me today, and also the members of the college's basketball team. Before I begin to speak about some of the wonderful things that we're doing here at Atlantic Cape Community College, I was asked to talk a little bit about myself and to tell my story and how I became the president of Atlantic Cape Community College. I am humbled and honored to be standing before you today serving as the first woman and the first African American to serve as the president of the college in the college's 50-year history. Thank you. I've only been at the college for about a year and a half, but it feels like I've been here for a long time because it's been very exciting and very challenging at the same time. As asked, let me tell you a little bit about my personal journey. My lifelong experience and career path have somehow led me to Atlantic Cape and really thrust me into this leadership role. So looking back, I realize that so much that I have learned about leadership, I learned from my mother, Johnny Mae Blassingame. And she was affectionately known as Miss Johnny Mae. She had to raise myself, my sister, my brother is here today, and I alone after my father died when I was 11. My brother was 10 and my sister was 9. At that time, she was only 30 years old with a high school diploma, and she had to work at a very minimum wage job. As a single mother, she worked hard supporting her family, and she raised us in the church. So, from my mother, I learned by her example the importance of working hard and doing your best job, because she always said, you never know who's watching, and you want them to say good things about you. She also taught us to take on a challenge and not to run from anything that might appear to be difficult and challenging at first. She always said that everything happens for a reason. So I guess in a way, that is why I'm standing before you here today. When I reflect on my career journey, I often say that leadership is a transformational journey. Because as a leader, you must be able to continue to grow and learn, transform, adapt to a changing environment, and most importantly, make tough decisions and be responsible for them. Looking back over my career, I can honestly say that I never aspired to be a college president. I never even gave it a thought, and it was not part of my plan, but God sometimes has a plan for us. So I had to take a journey to get where I am today. My life's work has been focused on education. When I started my career as an academic advisor at Hunter College in New York City when I first got out of college. And when I first got out of college, all I wanted to do was to get a job. And that came into place. That was the first step. As my career progressed, I took up more responsibilities, including teaching, which I loved. I was hardworking, and I especially wanted to help the students that I was working with. And I wanted to make them, provide them with opportunities that I did not have. Later, I got into higher education administration. And just before coming to Atlantic Cape, I was the provost and associate vice president for academic affairs at Union County College in North Jersey. I was there for 15 years. In every position I held, whenever someone needed someone to do something extra, somehow I always raised my hand. So I just wanted to help out, and by doing so and not realizing it, I expanded my knowledge and my skills. When the time came, it turned out that through hard work and determination, I had the experience, all the qualities that I needed to be a president, I didn't know it. I tell people I never planned to come to Atlantic Cape since I was very happy where I was. But then one day, I got a phone call. It was from the search firm, and they called me several times. The first conversation went something like this. Did you know that they're looking for a president at Atlantic Cape Community College? And are you interested? My response to both questions was no, I didn't know, and no, I'm not interested. However, they were very persistent, and they called me back again the following week. And through the course of their conversations, they convinced me to submit my application for the position, and the rest is history because I'm here today. I can also say that since it wasn't part of my plan, and people who know me know that I'm very organized, I usually have a schedule for doing things. So I left Union County College on a Wednesday, and I started at Atlantic Cape that Monday. And I have been fully engaged with the college ever since I got here, having the oversight for 3 campuses in 2 counties. So maybe that's why I feel as though I've been here for a long time. It's all good. It goes back to what my mother used to always say, that everything happens for a reason. So I'm so glad to be at Atlantic Cape to serve the community of Whitesboro and all of Cape May County. As I have said in so many talks that I give, when I see our students, I see myself. I was the first person in my family to go to college. I came from a family, as I mentioned before with some of my background, with very limited financial means, and I could not have made it through without financial aid and scholarships. At that time, it would have been impossible for me to go to college without any financial support. Many of my students are facing the same challenges, so I can relate to that experience. That's why I am so committed to this work. I should add that both my brother, who's here today, and my sister went on to get their degrees, and my mother, in her 50s, got her degree from Fordham University. She said, well, I struggled with all my kids through school, now it's time for me to go back to school and get my degree. She was courageous and amazing. So, from what I can say, Miss Johnny May was such a role model in so many ways. I am now convinced that Atlantic Cape is the place I was meant to be at this time in my life and at this time in the college's history. In fact, people tell me quite often that they're very glad that I'm here and that I was meant to be here. So, as my mother used to always say, everything happens for a reason. So, now that you know a little bit about me, let me talk about my passion. The work of the community college, and the work that we are doing at Atlantic Cape. Community colleges are one of New Jersey's greatest success stories, and we at Atlantic Cape are very proud of that. The community college sector enrolls nearly 400,000 students each year in numerous transfer, career, and technical education programs, making us the largest sector providing higher education in the state. Our college is unique in that Atlantic Cape is only one of community colleges in the state that support 2 counties. So you can well imagine that keeps me very, very busy going between both of the counties. Going to a community college can save as much as $20,000 a year by starting education at the community college and then moving on and transferring to a 4-year institutions. Students who enroll have a good opportunity to get started with the bachelor's degree without having to take on a lot of student loan debt. And we hear a lot of talk and conversation about student loan debt. Atlantic Cape is affordable, we are convenient, we are close to home, we're right in the community, and we offer seamless transfer programs, scholarship opportunities, and we have a team of committed faculty and staff. For students going on to the 4-year bachelor's degree, we have transfer partnerships with a number of colleges, including Rutgers University, Farley Dickinson University, Stockton University. In fact, many people don't know that Rutgers University has a beautiful 22,000 square foot building on our Mays Landing campus, and students can transfer and get their bachelor's degree from Rutgers without ever having to leave the region. Just go right from Atlantic Cape right on to Rutgers. I should also say that Rutgers offers 11 bachelor's degrees right on our campus in Mays Landing. For the last 50 years, Atlantic Cape has served Atlantic and Cape May counties with an unwavering commitment to promoting access to an affordable and quality higher education. While we have always served Cape May County, the opening of our Cape May campus 11 years ago only solidified our commitment to the residents of Cape May County. And if you look at our posters over there, you will see actually a picture of our campus in Cape May. Our campus in Cape May, at Cape May Courthouse, is only 13 minutes from here, less than 6 miles from Whitesboro. It is available to serve all the residents of the county. The campus is surrounded by beautiful spaces conducive for learning and relaxing. Our campus has a student and a career center, a dance studio, science labs, computer labs, and student clubs, and much more. We offer student support services needed for students to be successful every step of the way as they move on their pathway to achieving the associate's degree or if they're going for an industry credential. Our Veteran Center is one of those services that goes beyond the classroom and provides information and benefits and health services to our veterans. With nearly 8,000 veterans living in Cape May County, we are honored to partner with our network of community and nonprofits to offer the services that are much needed in Cape May County. I am proud to share our story of commitment. So again, let me talk about some of the initiatives that we have going in Cape May. Our relationships with the high school is very important because those students in the high school are our future potential students. I heard somebody say, right, that's right, they are. Atlantic Cape's partnerships with all the 4 high schools in Cape May County allow students to earn credit for high school classes while still being taught in high school, utilizing the Atlantic Cape curriculum for free credit or no cost depending on the program. We have 28 agreements with all high schools in Cape May County. Cape May County Technical, Lower Township, Middle Township, and Wildwood High School. There are 28, these 28 agreements equates to free credit for students who pursue the career technical education tracks for which they are awarded, including culinary arts, criminal justice, business administration, child development, child care, hospitality management, media study, and the performing arts. Additionally, we have 19 dual credit agreements with lower, middle, and Wildwood High schools. Dual enrollment prepares students for a college at a greatly reduced tuition by saving 42% from our regular community college rate. Our high school initiatives are very popular among high school students, their parents, and the administrators. As I mentioned before, these programs save our students money and get them a head start on going to college before they actually leave high school. Another important initiative that we are involved with is the development of the drone industry in Cape May County. Community colleges play an important role in economic development, and we are here to prepare our students for the workforce for today and tomorrow. Most recently, the college received 2 grants that will help turn the college into a resource and lead institution for drone technology in this area. Cape May County is the perfect place for drone occupations to occur, as it is a peninsula at the southern tip of New Jersey with relatively uncomplicated airspace that's an ideal place to conduct drone research and development activities. One of the grants that Atlantic Cape recently awarded was a $250,000 grant from the prestigious National Science Foundation to establish a drone repair and maintenance program in Cape May County, in addition to the drone pilot program that students are already enrolled in. The other grant that we have will allow us to address the areas that are growing in this area. And while there are many drones being built in the United States every year, they also need repair and maintenance at some point in time when they break down. So don't be surprised to see demand for this industry grow, and we intend to be here to help the residents become skilled in these areas. Additionally, there is another grant. Atlantic Cape was chosen as a consortium member for the Region 2 University Transportation Center by the U.S. Department of Transportation. Through these grant-funded initiatives, students will be able to access and explore drone technology as it relates to many high-demand careers ranging from entrepreneurism to agriculture to technician repair. Okay. So we are very, very pleased that we have received these two grants, and we will be working very closely with the county to coordinate these efforts. One enormous benefit of the county, and something that we've probably heard about, is that we are continuing to work together, and there are many, many applications for the use of drones. As one example, our students at Atlantic Cape have used drones to study local agricultural crops, analyzing the health of everything from oyster farms to blueberry and to the cranberry bogs. So as I've mentioned before, community colleges in general improve economic development and prosperity of workers and the community. We are working very, very closely with many of the community agencies in Cape May County. Also, I should mention that located at our Cape May campus is the Nonprofit Research Center. It is a new fundraising resource for the nonprofits and individuals in Cape May County. The center provides grant seekers free access to the funding network, which is an online directory of resources. In addition, the Resource Center has a collection of reference books about how to conduct fundraising. So we are very, very proud of this initiative that's happening at our Cape May campus. So these are just a few of the activities that we have going on at our Cape May campus, but we have some other things on the horizon. We are beginning preliminary work on our Entrepreneur Institute. We are looking for funding to get started, but we believe this will be an excellent resource for existing and new businesses for more and more residents of Cape May and Atlantic counties. We are also making strides to create non-credit-based workshops to our seniors in Cape May County, as there's a large senior population here. The college has a lot to offer the residents of Cape May County, and I am very grateful and pleased that many individuals, organizations, and groups have reached out to me to not only welcome me to the community, but also to offer to collaborate and help us expand our work in this county. President Barack Obama once said, "Our higher education system is one of the things that makes America exceptional. There's no place else that has the assets we do when it comes to higher education. People all over the world would aspire to come here and study here, and that's a good thing." I couldn't agree more, and I would add that through education, we can transform our community, this community, one student at a time. I am very proud of your community college right here in Cape May County, my community college, Atlantic Cape Community College. In closing, I want to thank you for the opportunity for me to tell my story so that you know something about me and why I have a passion for this work. Your warm welcome has been overwhelming to me, my staff, and my family, who are all here with me today. As you conclude your 30th year, I wish you all the best as you embark on the next chapter, the 31st year. I know you will continue to do great things in the community. A lot will be ahead for you, some planned and some unplanned. But by working together as a family and as a community, you will overcome the challenges that may come your way. Going back to what my mother always said, everything happens for a reason. So finally, let me say, I am a collaborator, and experience has shown me that some of the best ideas emerge from working with groups. Upon my arrival at the college, I embarked on a listening tour, meeting with various community groups, members of business and industry, educators, and members of the clergy. Now that those relationships have been established, I will continue to work closely with our partners in local government, business and industry, middle schools and high school, as well as our higher education institutions to strengthen the programs and services we offer here in Cape May County. We will be directing a sharper focus on the needs of Cape May County and the region with the goal of providing social and economic mobility for our students and contributing to the revitalization of the county and the region. I am so excited to be a part of this community. You will be seeing more of me and my staff as we work our way through the schools, places of worship, and the communities of Cape May County. And we want to let your people say, see where Atlantic Cape can take you. Thank you.
I have 1 minute, so I'm going to make this short and brief. I'm a proud Atlantic Cape Community SAGE student. SAGES student. SAGES stand for Senior Adult Gaining Educational Stimulation. So I'm a 66-year-old SAGE student, and I'm very proud and delighted and honored and privileged to make this presentation this evening on behalf of all the students at the campuses of the Cape and Atlantic campuses and our Cape May County citizens here. So on behalf of everyone here concerned, and first of all I'd like to congratulate the concerned citizens on their 30th anniversary, Bernie Blanks and Brother Matthews and Brother Graham and everyone here. But furthermore, I want to make this presentation that goes to Madam President. Madam President, as you have already eloquently said, your mother said everything happens for a reason. From a scriptorial point of view, I want to say this, that many are called, but few are chosen. So Madam President was chosen to be our president here at the college. And now on behalf of Senator Van Drew and the Joint Legislative Commission, and on behalf of the community of Cape May County, we just want to read in part to Dr. Barbara Gabra upon the historic occasion of being the first woman and African-American President, Madam President of Atlantic Cape Community Colleges. God bless.
Ms. Della Moses Walker is coming up. She's from the United States Postal Service, so we'll make that presentation.
Mr. President, Bernie Blanks, Mr. Chairman, Stedman Graham, all of the esteemed ladies and gentlemen guests here on the podium, and ladies and gentlemen, family and friends of Whitesboro, it is indeed an honor that you invited me. I'm so honored that you invited me to talk about pictorial postmarks on this, your 30th Whitesboro Reunion! Woo! How many of you have received a letter in the mail last week? Anybody receive a letter in the mail? One person, two, three. Nobody has bills. Well, a postmark is an organization of stamp collectors, and we're nationwide. But we worked with the post office very diligently. A postmark is a way that the U.S. Post Office helps to bridge and honor the community and events through their offering of a postmark, the little circle that cancels a stamp that's mailed to you, nice letters, love letters, bills, you name it, comes through the mail. Now, a pictorial postmark honors a special event, or it can honor an issuance of a stamp. When new stamps are issued, there's a first day ceremony called the first day of issue. And there's a pictorial postmark about that stamp. We today here in Whitesboro are honored because the post office for today, the post station for today, where the U.S. Post Office is here, set up the station to honor Congressman George Henry White. And the name of the post station today, U.S. Post Office today, is called Honorable George H. White Station, Whitesboro, New Jersey, 08252, September 1, 2018. This is a pictorial postmark. This, ladies and gentlemen, this postmark was reported in the U.S. Bulletin, the U.S. Postal Service Bulletin that goes all around the country. Stamp collectors from around the country and around the world will call the post office here to order this postmark. Whitesboro is on the map. Let's hear it for Whitesboro. Now, oh, I'm sorry. My esteemed guest. That's the postmark. Now, the postmark is placed on a stamp. That's called, the pictorial postmark placed on a stamp is called a cachet. That's the philatelist. The stamp collectors call it a cachet. When you add a piece of art to the envelope, it's called a pictorial cachet. I was asked to help and organize and order and design the pictorial postmark honoring George Henry White. And I want to tell you folks, when I sourced information to find out about Mr. White's life, chill bumps came over me. I discovered, research led me to writings by Mr. Ben Justison, who sends his regards. Mr. Ben Justison wrote many, many essays. I never published a book. And he said that Congressman White sponsored anti-lynching legislation over 100 years ago. And I think about what's going on in the communities today. I think about all the violence in the communities today. And Congressman White was thinking about that over 100 years ago and sponsored legislation to make lynching a federal crime. Now, Congressman White so eloquently said when he left Congress, he said, "My bill slept in committee." In other words, the folk wouldn't let it out of the committee. They wouldn't pass his anti-legislation bill. But the fight still goes on. Back to pictorial postmarks. So I said, well, how can I capture, how can I teach history about Mr. White? Well, this is a pictorial postmark and a pictorial cachet. The cachet is an envelope with a stamp. This one has a couple of stamps on it, the mark, and it has a little drawing. The drawing says, "A man was lynched yesterday. Vote. Make lynching a federal crime, 2018. And then there's a New York Times article here, a piece of it, that talks about one state passed an anti-lynching law. What makes pictorial postmarks and cachets interesting, the stamps presented here today, the Smithsonian Museum, the African American Museum of African History and Culture, the Bill of Rights stamp, which is very old, and one of the stamps issued by the post office, all of them were issued by the post office, but the Harriet Tubman stamp, which is part of the Black History, African American Culture series. There are 41 stamps post office issued in the Black History series. Now, the post office, as I said, offers the pictorial postmark to help communities celebrate. And I want to call someone up from the post office today. Your postmaster at the Rio Grande post office. Cheryl, would you come up, Cheryl Foster? And the post office has a very special presentation to make today. Jack Klein, Cheryl Foster coming up. And Mr. President Bernie Blanks, would you please come up? And Mr. Chairman, would you please come up? And I'm introducing you to Cheryl, who's going to say a little something about it.
Hey, Cheryl.
Thank you first and foremost, Adela, for sharing your time with us. I know you had limited time, and I appreciate the fact that you were willing to share. On behalf of the United States Postal Service, Eastern Area, South Jersey District, Team Rio Grande, Whitesboro, and Green Creek, I am pleased to present this 30th anniversary plaque, the National Museum of African American History and Culture.
U.S. Post Office for honoring our concerned citizens with the Post Office. Post Office is here and back, and they have a very special array of stamps that we'd like for you to come and take a look at. We have pictorial postmark cachets in the back. The designer of the cachet is a young man by the name of Jalen Walker. He's 21 years old. He's back there as well, and he will sign your cachet if you like. So again, my thanks, and what an honor it was to research the Honorable Congressman George Henry White. God bless you all.
Okay, thank you very much. That's quite an honor and something that we certainly will cherish. Following along right on that same line, we have a letter that's going to be read from Senator Cory Booker, who could not make his schedule work to be here, but we have his representative, Alfred Mason, who's going to read the letter from Senator Cory Booker.
So once again, my name is Alfred Mason. I work for Senator Cory Booker out of his Camden office. The senator, sends apologies he could not attend today's event, but he wanted me to attend and read this letter on his behalf. It is a pleasure to extend my warmest wishes as you gather to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the concerned citizens of Whitesboro at the Annual Whitesboro Reunion Festival. Since your organization was founded in 1988, the concerned citizens of Whitesboro has been guided by the conviction that we must take care of others. I am proud to recognize the community organizing, educational programming, grassroots advocacy the CCWI has spearheaded to foster social and economic development throughout Whitesboro. Today's event speaks not only to the work of the CCWI, but also to the past work of trailblazing men and women who laid the groundwork for communities like yours, such as leaders such as Congressman George Henry White of North Carolina. Congressman White, the sole voice in Congress for all 10 million African Americans across the country during his tenure, is one of the most important civil rights leaders in congressional history. A staunch and resourceful advocate for social and economic justice following the end of the Reconstruction era, Congressman White purchased land in Cape May County to establish Whitesboro, a haven for African Americans fleeing the Jim Crow South. He also founded the People's Savings Bank and importantly introduced the first federal anti-lynching legislation in the 1900s. I am certain Congressman White would be proud of all that you have done over the past 30 years for Whitesboro. Earlier this year, I was appointed to the Senate Judiciary Committee, becoming only the second African American to ever sit on this committee. The Senate Judiciary Committee has jurisdiction over issues that are deeply important to our state, including criminal justice reform and civil rights. Since I joined the Senate in 2013, I have written or co-sponsored nearly 24 bills to address these issues, including a bill making lynching a federal crime. It has been over 100 years since Congressman White first introduced this measure, yet Congress has still done nothing. As Senator, I will continue to do everything I can to see this legislation become law and honor Congressman White's legacy. Again, congratulations on your 38 years of service to the people of Whitesboro, and please accept my sincere appreciation for all of the incredible work you continue to do. Senator Cory Booker.
Thank you, Mr. Mason. Appreciate that. We did have Senator Booker at one of our events a couple of years back, and I was certainly hoping he could be here because he can really light up the crowd with his speeches. We're moving along so that you can get to all of the vendors we have out here, and then I want to say before I go next that after this is over, inside of the building, inside of the Community Recreation Building, the Whitesboro Historical Foundation has an outstanding demonstration of that it would be worth your while to walk through and get to see it. So that would be available anytime immediately following the program. 30 years, we seem to get a lot of things to unveil and present to concerned citizens, and we have one more. A presentation that Michelle Hudgens-Azumba, my cousin, wanted to present to the concerned citizens of Whitesboro. So Michelle, come up.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'll be brief. My family moved here to Whitesboro in 1966. My mom was born here in Whitesboro, but I wasn't. She is Bernie's aunt, and his father is my uncle. And when we moved we moved here from Swainton. I don't know who's ever been to Swainton, but Swainton is basically a few little families, black families on 2 roads. And we didn't have Miss Harmon, but we had Cass Lawson and Carrie Lawson's here. And we didn't have Miss Edmonds, but we had Miss Marshall, who taught Sunday school and lived till she was 100 years old. But and we didn't have a concerned citizen, so we were just a handful of black families on these 2 roads, which was a little nothing. So we moved down here, and we were on Cochran Street. You know, all these streets. It was a big move to come from Swainton to Whitesboro. And my little brother, we were a family of 10. He was the youngest, and it was the first time my father allowed him to walk over to the ball field. It was a baseball season. And I was at the Richardson's Motel with Joyce Williams and Joyce Richardson, who's here today, cleaning the motel rooms, and saw this long line of cars stopping on Route 9, and someone came and called me, and that's when we found out that a car had veered off the shoulder, knocked down my brother, and killed him instantly, 7 years old. So I was thinking, you know, this is the 30th year. I come, I eat Bernie's and Faye's food, and don't do much else. So what can we do to really celebrate the fact that this volunteer nonprofit has endured for 30 years? And I found a quotation that inspired me. It said, to come together is the beginning, to stay together is progress, and to work together is success. And I think we've heard a lot of successful stories over the past 2 days. An extraordinary, I don't know if you know how phenomenal this is. I've been in nonprofit work all my life, and I get paid to have my title. But these guys are doing it, and all the money goes to programming, and I think you have a lot to teach the sophisticated nonprofit organizations how to really get concrete stuff done. So kudos to everyone who's been involved with this for the past 30 years. So anyway, I'd like to present this plaque on behalf of my family, the Hudgens family. My brother Greg is here, Ginger and Skip from Swainton, and we all grew up together. And this plaque was really for us to have a permanent way to commemorate the founding board and committee and the current board and committee that are active at the 30th anniversary. So congratulations, concerned citizens, and thank you for the opportunity.
Michelle wanted you to know that she mentioned her brother, who was unfortunately killed on the road because concerned citizens took up the fight to try to get sidewalks in Whitesboro, which we now have some sidewalks. and we're still working to get more. So, okay, before I turn it over to the big guy, Stedman, to give some closing remarks and what he has to do, I'm going to call up his daughter, Wendy. Where's Wendy? Wendy Graham. Wendy Graham Green. She has something she wants to say.
Thank you, Bernie and Faye, for the opportunity to speak for the youth today. To thank the concerned citizens of Whitesboro, as well as honor my father, Stedman Graham. I was 13 when I attended the first Whitesboro reunion. Now 43, I would like to share with you what you all mean to us. The youth thank you, concerned citizens of Whitesboro, for your consistent demonstration of care, love, and investment in us. We appreciate you creating a community we can call home. We thank you for your standards and values of excellence. We thank you for providing a vision, a model, and a path for us to grow into. We thank you for teaching us how to connect with others, build trust, and get involved. We appreciate you showing us how communities save families by nurturing human connections. We humans wither outside of community. It isn't a luxury, a nice thing. Community is essential to our well-being. Thank you for demonstrating health as a personal and communal responsibility. Thank you for teaching us that freedom is not free. As Malcolm X says, the future belongs to those who prepare for it today. Because of you, we know what to stand for. Though it may not seem like we listen sometimes or understand the value of life, rest assured the seeds you planted will come to harvest. In the words of my Aunt Anita Shelton, when you plant a seed, you don't know when or where it will sprout. Thank you, concerned citizens of Whitesboro, for showing up for the youth and the community. 30 years equals 10,950 days. We need you. We appreciate you. We love you. Thank you, Daddy, for your passion and for your love for Whitesboro. Your loyalty has been and will continue to be a lifeline for us all.
Okay. Nita just told me she got something that has to be done here.
I just want to say hello. I'm Monique Brooks. I'm from the Nordstrom store here out in the Cherry Hill Nordstrom. I work as the business manager at the Joe Malone counter. I just want to say I'm very thankful for the opportunity that I was given just to come here and try to represent the brand. But more importantly, it just seems like there's a lot of love here that has been given. The community has come together to support one another. And I want to say I just said yes to Anita when she said, Monique, can you come out and try to represent the brand here, just to give back, give some samples out. So I wanted to say, anytime someone just says, it's so nice as Anita, and says, Monique, can you come here and help me out? I said, I'm there, Anita. It was supposed to be vacation, but I felt like it was just a blessing just to be able to hear amongst the people that keep on striving to do better. So I want to just say thank you. Please come stop by. I'm giving out some samples. I just love people and everything, so just say hello to me. Okay, thanks again for everybody and all their support in this. Thanks, Anita.
Very good. going to turn the mic over to the big guy, Stedman Graham. Doesn't need a lot of invitation. Everyone knows him, homeboy. Remember guys that are his age will remember him going up and down the street with that basketball. But we're happy that he stayed involved in Whitesboro. It means everything to the concerned citizens of Whitesboro and to the community at large. Always happy to have him, Stedman Graham.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here always at home. We got some nice weather. We lucked out. And man, I can't say enough about this gentleman here that just got off the mic, Bernie Blanks, and we give him a big round of applause. Standing ovation for Bernie. Because when the crowd's not here, Bernie's still here. He's here when nobody's here, and I got to really thank someone else in the crowd, and that's Faye. Faye, thank you so much for your support throughout the years. That's 30 years of support. I know you know what that means. And I don't think you understand. I really don't think you get it. Dr. Blanks, I don't think they understand. Chief, I don't really think they understand. I don't think they get it. Mayor, I really don't think you really understand.
Give it to us, please.
I don't think you understand who you are.
Amen. And whose we are.
And whose you are. Because if you understood that, you realize that we can do anything we want to do.
Thank you.
Anytime you have a black woman from Mississippi, Kosciuszko, Mississippi, getting off of one of the Gulfstream's highest quality planes that they make in the world, gets up at 5:30 in the morning to fly from the West Coast to Whitesboro, New Jersey. Gets off of that plane in Cape May, New Jersey, and takes a 15-minute ride from Cape May to Whitesboro to be here at the Concerned Citizens Reunion. Owns her own magazine with a picture on the cover of it. Has her own, network, right? She can program channels. 25 years of #1 show, right? Show for 25 years. And on and on and on. Now, a part of Weight Watchers, which I hope you'll join. I'm going to plug that for you, okay? And one of the most successful women in the world. I don't think you understand. If she can do it, right, coming from Kosciuszko, Mississippi, abuse, right, in a family, juvenile delinquent, right?
That's right.
With parents that were just barely making it, no money, then collectively, as a group, why can't we make it? I don't think you understand. This is 30 years. 30 years. And in 30 years, if you look around, we got sidewalks. We didn't have it 30 years ago. We got street lights we didn't have 30 years ago. We've given out $335,000 worth of scholarships. We didn't have that 30 years ago. 30 years ago, we didn't have paved roads 30 years ago. We didn't have a community center, $1.4 million spent in this community center. We didn't have that 30 years ago. We got $700,000 was put into the school. We saved the school, Whitesboro School, segregated school, 30 years ago. I don't think you understand. And so I think the mission of the organization, I think our ability to be able to come together is it's taken 30 years to get here so we can collectively come together with a collective consciousness, right? To be able to, what my daughter said, is to be able to serve young people. And make sure that our crime is reduced. Make sure we don't have drugs in this town. Make sure that our kids are educated. Make sure that we can celebrate Whitesboro the way it's supposed to do, based on what? Based on our talents, our skills, and our ability. I don't think you know who you are. You bring so much talent, skills, and abilities to the table. And what we're trying to do is use those talents, abilities, and skills to be able to self-actualize our potential as a human being. And basically do what Dr. King, this is what Dr. King was trying to get us to do. Basically trying to get us to be the best person we could possibly be. The best we could be. And he kind of said it like this. He said, even if it falls your lot to be a street sweeper, sweep streets like Michelangelo painted pictures. Sweep streets like Handel and Beethoven composed music. Sweep streets like Shakespeare wrote poetry. Sweep streets so well that all the hosts of heaven and earth will have to pause and say, here live the great street sweeper that swept his or her job well. If you can't be a pine on the top of a hill, be a scrub in the valley. But be the best little scrub on the side of the hill. Be a bush if you can't be a tree. If you can't be a highway, just be a trail. If you can't be the sun, be a star. It isn't by the size that you win or fail. Be the best of whatever you are. And Whitesboro is the best. Coming up, I want to say this is an amazing lady right here. Can we just give her a round of applause? She was incredible. And last night, if we don't do anything else, last night was an unbelievable program. And this book is incredible. And Cheryl, we want to thank you so much for all that you do.
I hope everybody's been enjoying themselves today. We have wonderful guests. Thank you all for coming out on our 30th anniversary. Last night we had such a fabulous night at Christ Gospel Church. We had an appreciation dinner where we recognized and appreciated some of the people that have gone on and some of the people that are still here with us. And we just had a phenomenal time. And I read this poem that I'm not sure who was written by. I found it because the theme of our event this year was Pearls of Wisdom. And you all are our pearls of wisdom. So I just want to read it again and think about it. If you purchased the book, the poem is in the book. I've traveled past, you've yet to walk. Learn lessons old and new. And now this wisdom of my life, I'm blessed to share with you. Let kindness spread like sunshine. Embrace those who are sad. Respect their dignity, give them joy, and leave them feeling glad. Forgive those who might hurt you, and though you have your pride, listen closely to their viewpoint. Try to see the other side. Walk softly when you're angry. Try not to take offense. Invoke your sense of humor. Laughter is so immense. Express what you are feeling. Your beliefs you should uphold. Don't shy away from what is right. Be courageous and be bold. Keep hope right in your pocket. It will guide you day by day. Take it out when it is needed. When it's near, you'll find a way. Remember friends and family. of which you are a precious part. Love deeply and love truly. Give freely from your heart. The world is far from perfect. There's conflict and there's strife. But you still can make a difference by how you live your life. And so we are very blessed to know the wonders you will do because you are a pearl of wisdom, and I believe in you. Thank you, guys. I also want to make an announcement that Ms. Della Moses Walker said that the stamps, the pictorial postmark stamps, are available. A stamp is 50 cents, and if you mail it from here today with the postmark, it will be available at the Rio Grande Post Office. You can mail it from, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. You can mail that stamp from here today, here at this reunion event from here today. But it will be available at the post office in Rio Grande for future. Okay? Thank you, guys.
Obviously, it means everything to us to have Oprah Winfrey fly out from the West Coast and spend this time with us. I just want to thank her immensely for how much it means to us. And we have a little token of our appreciation to give to her. Okay, we thank you again for being here. Hang around, enjoy the entertainment, eat some food. Thank you so very much.